Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you to our officials for being here with us today and sharing all the information with us. What would be helpful, I wonder if you could undertake to provide us with a table of the different immigration streams by year, by stream, for, let's say, the last 10 years. I'd like to see where that has gone in order to be able to understand what you're saying, that you're seeing improvements and so forth. I'd like to see where it's gone over the last 10 years, given the fact that we've had 7 different immigration ministers over the last 10 years. So would you undertake to provide that to us, please, within the next, say, 28 days?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to confirm the request, because I think, are you referring specifically to
I'm referring to all of the streams.
students' programs?
Economic, family, and compassionate, all the streams, by year for the last, say, 10 years.
And what exactly, because there is a lot of data, so...
Just the total number from
total
each
number
stream,
that
so
we've
number of stream
received.
with percentages. Back in the day, we had measures for that. 65% would come through our economic streams.
According to the levels plan?
And the levels and so forth. I'd like to see where that's gone over the last 10 years. I know there's some information available on the website, but if you can provide the committee with that graphic, I think that would be very useful for us.
Of each year, what the levels plan
Correct.
has been for immigration? Okay.
What the results were for each year.
Okay.
The
The
actual.
levels plan and then the admissions against that levels plan.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you share with us what advice you've given the government regarding the long-term strategy for managing the international student program?
Thank you, Madam Chair. In terms of the advice, as I've mentioned, we've only just embarked on all of the changes within the last 18 months. I tried to cite the time frame in which a lot of the changes were introduced, and that was to suggest that it's going to take some time for us to see some of those results. And to ensure that we are making changes based on evidence, there is a certain period of time that is required in order to know whether or not we should continue on that path. But I will say this in terms of early results, that as of July 31st, and this is on our website, there were roughly 786 study permit holders in Canada, compared to 995,000 at the end of 2023, and that is a 21% reduction.
Well, okay. This kind of leads me into my next question, if you don't mind. How many international students are in the country right now on valid student visas?
So that is as of July 31st, 2025. It's a combination, but it's about 499,000 with just study permits, and it's 200 and the total is 786 that have study permits and work permits.
786,000?
Mm-hmm.
So how many international student visas were approved since last year, just into 2025?
Just in 2025. The number of decisions taken so far this year is 174,000.
174,000? Mm-hmm. Okay, because a quick Google search said 437,000 for the year. Is that an inaccurate number?
I'm sorry, what number did you cite?
437,000.
That is actually the study permit issuance target. So the number of approvals. So there are several numbers. So you will see that there's a number for the number of new arrivals. There's also a number for the number of approvals, which actually leads to a certain number of arrivals.
What advice, if any, has the IRCC given the government regarding institutions who take advantage of the international student program?
My colleague, Aisha Zafar, has been outlining some of the measures that we've put in place to strengthen the integrity and through the reporting system, working with our DLIs. I will cite as well that, or recite the 14,000 letters of acceptance that we have actually intercepted. So these are ones that didn't even make it here. because we were able to intercept them.
Okay, so there hasn't been an investigation confirming those 14,000? And if so, what action has been taken in your department or others in the government to bring accountability to the offenders?
Thank you for the question. So, yes, when we look at potentially 14,000 fraudulent letters of acceptance, we take the data and we look at the indicators in each of those applications. Is there something that's consistent in each of those applications that identifies for us that this is a large-scale fraud, or there is something that individuals are trying to circumvent the program, and we will issue reports or other types of packages for our officers so that they can look out for those in future applications. We've done that in other cohorts as well. Last year, we were able to determine that there was a fraud happening in the visitor program. We did the activities that I just mentioned. We were able to increase the identification of fraud and misrepresentation in that court by 241% over the course of a couple of months. So that's the system that we look at. If we either get information from our partners, we get tips, we look at our own trends, and we look at those indicators and see how can that improve our processing and our ability to identify that fraud and abuse in the future. And
Do you agree that the number of
15 seconds.
international... I'm
15
sorry?
seconds, so
50
very
seconds?
quick, yes.
Do you agree that the number of international students let into the country impacts housing prices? You said that you thought in some communities you've seen that come down somewhat. What proof do you have that it's the result of the actions that you're taking is what's causing the housing prices or the housing market to slow down? Because there's a whole bunch of other factors that affect housing prices in the country. I wonder how you identify that as being directly related to the actions that you've taken.
So it wasn't us that put that forward. I cited a study by CMHC that looked at some municipalities that are with universities, and what they had cited was that since we have put in some of the measures to control volumes and some of the other measures, that there has been a decrease on pressures in the housing market.
Thank you, Mr. Menegakis. Our next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Over the course of the election campaign, I appreciate all of the comments that are being made here today about the intricacies of running this department. But the thing that I heard most of was that the student immigration and visa program was completely broken. We went from 350,000 people, roughly 350,000 people in 2015, to just under 1 million in 2023. So does anybody track the financial implication that this has had, the sudden shift of completely turning the program and its open-ended application process? Do you track the financial implications on this on post-secondary institutions?
Global Affairs Canada has commissioned a number of studies tracking the financial implications and impact of the student program in Canada in relation to GDP and a number of other metrics, and I think they're preparing to issue another update on that very shortly.
Okay, well, interestingly, in the fall economic statement last year, the federal government changed the law relating to the capacity or ability of post-secondary institutions to seek creditor protection or even protection under bankruptcy laws. So when you did when the department flip-flopped on its student, the number of students coming in, are you aware that that you've got some serious implications for financial institutions, that you believe that the taxpayer should actually now be responsible for bailing out post-secondary institutions as a result of the failures of the student visa program?
I don't think I would be able to speak to the points that you're raising at this time.
Okay, so it just...
Thank you so much, Mr. Davies. Thank you.